Embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, but you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these.
Well, I think I'm a businessman.
$1 million fight, and you know, I've already, in the sport of boxing, I've already made somewhere upwards of 800 million.
You made money. You're gonna make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is, I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Just Google Floyd's name and the IRS. All the news is out there. He owes jewelers money. There's back paid rent for real estate in New York. It's clear that he is now part of the no money team, which is very ironic. And why is he doing this?
No, I don't know. Normally, people that are well off don't go back into a sport as barbaric as boxing at 48, X, Y, and Z. That's not normal. But everything doesn't have to make sense to me. It just has to make sense.
Oscar De La Hoya has finally responded to the growing speculation surrounding Floyd Mayweather's financial situation. As rumors continue to circulate about the stability of the Money Mayweather empire, De La Hoya argues that the larger-than-life image of endless wealth may have been carefully crafted for public consumption. For years, fans associated Floyd with private jets, diamond-covered watches, and a lifestyle built around unlimited luxury. Now, however, De La Hoya believes that image is beginning to face serious scrutiny. With fresh questions emerging about Mayweather's finances, many are wondering whether the fighter who generated enormous revenue throughout his career is still as financially untouchable as he once appeared.
Fighting again. Why would you fight again? Why is Money Mayweather, who has reportedly made up over $1 billion. Now, that doesn't mean you're bringing it all home. That's not net. That is just in terms of revenue, in terms of the gates. The last fight between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather made $668 million. Where reportedly Floyd Mayweather took home, what, 250 of that? So why is he fighting again, everybody says? Boy, people just telling themselves, why would you fight again if you made all that money? Because that means that people don't really want to fight, right? First thing first, we know that at the bottom of the pecking order, the bottom of all the athletic pyramid of success is fighting, right? UFC, boxing, that's the bottom of the barrel. That's the chitlin circuit. Like if you doing that, either A, your daddy was a fighter, or B, boy, you fighting for your life and your circumstances in this world. So few affluent fighters. Like, oh, we have wealth, we have money, we have success. So few just upper middle class fighters. Like, dog, you gotta be from it, the mud. So we all are telling ourselves when we see somebody fight, like, why are you fighting? Oh. So now we're going to the financial, and obviously there are a lot of reports out there that talks about his money. Now, what it doesn't say, it talks about his debt, it talks about some of his liabilities. What it doesn't tell you is his liquidity. What it doesn't tell you is what he has. Now, you don't know what he has. You can guess this. You can say he has these assets over here that aren't liquid. You can say he has this ownership over here. And then you don't know which way to go back and forth. So the guesswork to you and for me, it's not really the best play because it's not going to be fully informed. It's just like going to somebody's website right now and you going to see celebrity net worth. That's not true. Trust me. I've not met one person that their celebrity net worth is real. Like sometimes it's way higher, sometimes.
Speaking during an interview with TMZ, De La Hoya didn't hold back when discussing Floyd Mayweather's recent exhibition bouts and the possibility of another showdown with Manny Pacquiao. According to Oscar, the motivation behind those fights isn't legacy but money. He claimed Mayweather is pursuing another lucrative event because he believes the income is necessary, arguing that exhibition matches no longer generate the same financial success they once did. De La Hoya went as far as accusing his longtime rival of relying on major paydays simply to maintain his lifestyle.
In this trash because he wants a rematch. Do you think he actually wants?
Absolutely.
You think he wants a rematch?
Look, another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
You think he needs money?
Absolutely.
He's always flossy.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely. Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
Right.
You think you can't spend $500 million overnight? Absolutely.
You can't.
I doubt he'll ever step into that ring. Floyd's a big freaking
He called Canelo the easiest win of his career.
Yeah, because he was 21 years old.
Right.
Of course. If I fought Ryan Garcia, who's 19 years old, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna beat him easy because of my experience.
So fight him in his prime, he goes down, you think?
Easy.
What's your message to Floyd?
Floyd, stay under your rock, dude.
De La Hoya also suggested that Floyd's famous money persona served a business purpose beyond simply showing off expensive possessions. In his opinion, the image of limitless wealth became part of the marketing strategy that encouraged fans to buy pay-per-views, hoping someone would eventually defeat him. While that approach proved incredibly successful throughout his career, Oscar believes maintaining such an extravagant lifestyle eventually became increasingly expensive. He also pointed out that Mayweather has built a reputation for traveling exclusively by private jet, reinforcing the luxury image he carefully created.
I don't think so. I've never seen a Mayweather plane, like a Drake plane. I've never seen that. Not to say that he doesn't. I don't know Mayweather like that. I've never even met him. So I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of properties. You have a lot of money you're constantly spending.
Right.
I don't know. Remember at one point he said he was buying like the jewelry district building.
Yeah, and they said that wasn't
true.
Was
I don't know, man. I don't know this man's finance, but this guy told me that Mayweather is in financial problems.
See, here's the shitty part about actually losing your money when you're on that level and you're, kind of like flossing, showing off. Nobody gives a shit. Like there are people actually praying for you to be broke. And then when you do go broke, that's what people are going to say. Yeah. Oh, well, you should have invested better. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to give him any loans. So now, we might see Mayweather doing...
People will give him some loans.
Maybe.
Listen, he's cozying up to Israel. That's
but
not
the
an
thing
accident.
about it is, he had Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And he was hosting a big, he had Gervonta Davis under his cards. And so that's a like
yeah, but
De La
look
Hoya
what happened
does.
to Gervonta.
Right. So if you can
yeah.
sustain that, you don't ever have to box again. But now has to take fights because when you floss like Mayweather, you can't go down.
Yeah.
You got to stay right there because people are gonna peep any kind of chinks in your armor if you're not wearing 3 or 4 big $1 million.
Adding to the ongoing discussion, recent legal filings have placed Mayweather back in the spotlight. Reports claim a well-known Miami jeweler has filed a lawsuit involving more than $1.3 million connected to luxury purchases. According to the filings, the dispute involves dozens of high-end watches and gold chains. The reports also reference alleged payment issues, including bounced checks and unsuccessful wire transfers, claims that have only fueled more speculation about Floyd's financial position.
Right now, our guy Andreas Hale wrote a story that is kind of went somewhat viral. That's crazy, the laugh faces. Although Floyd Mayweather Jr. made hundreds of millions of dollars from his professional boxing career and topped the Forbes list as the highest paid athlete from 2012 to 2014, the boxer is said to have been shortchanged and filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Showtime. The lawsuit filed Tuesday, and obtained by ESPN seeks to recover hundreds of millions of dollars, misappropriated funds, and damages resulting from a long-running and elaborate scheme of financial fraud, breaches in fiduciary duty, and conspiracy orchestrated by Floyd J. Mayweather's former manager and advisor, Al Heyman, with the knowing and substantial participation and aid of defendants Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza. Mayweather, who's 48, says he is owed at least $340 million and cites a complex web of hidden accounts, unauthorized transactions, and deliberate concealment of financial records as the reason he believes he's been defrauded from those funds. Heyman is not named as a defendant in the complaint, which is interesting because I misspoke and said he sued Al Heyman. He's essentially saying that Showtime and Al Heyman colluded to not pay him with Steven Espinoza, but then he doesn't name Heyman in the suit. Very odd. Anyway, it's a mess, and for those people that always thought that Floyd Mayweather had financial troubles because of the money he owed to the IRS, because of the terrible, terrible business and real estate investments that he's made, and apparently some of these have gone under, and he is owed back rent, or he is owing back rent, and he is delinquent on a lot of payments for a lot of different things right now. These things seem to have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the entire article. Business Insider is reporting that Floyd Mayweather could be facing money trouble, citing an estimated $54 million in debt, property foreclosures, multiple lawsuits piling up. Mayweather's attorney strongly denies he's in any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt.
For many observers, lawsuits involving million-dollar purchases naturally raise difficult questions. Some industry figures argue that while Mayweather may still control valuable assets and properties, access to readily available cash could be a separate issue altogether. According to that viewpoint, he may eventually face difficult financial choices, including selling valuable possessions or continuing to compete in exhibition events to generate additional income.
How does he owe you the money? Why don't you just like...
Here's what happened. He pre-sold the fight using my likeness to some company in, I think, Dubai or like the Middle East. This is my understanding of it, for $10 million cash. We ended up doing the fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid me. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment that I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at Fort.
De La Hoya has also criticized Mayweather's growing schedule of exhibition fights, arguing they diminish the legacy of an undefeated champion. He has repeatedly described these events as unnecessary and suggested they exist primarily because of financial motivations rather than competitive ambition. Oscar has especially targeted recent exhibition appearances involving boxing legends, claiming they do little to enhance Floyd's remarkable career achievements. Some commentators have echoed those concerns, suggesting the motivation behind these events may extend beyond entertaining fans.
Having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro. As I've always said, it's hard to make money, but it's even harder to keep it. Floyd, I'm rooting for you. Come on, let's turn it around.
Critics have also questioned whether Floyd's transition from dominating major pay-per-view events to participating in exhibition contests signals a significant shift in his career. Some analysts believe the change reflects evolving financial priorities, while longtime rival 50 Cent has repeatedly fueled the conversation through social media. The rapper has claimed Mayweather continues fighting because of money and has even questioned reports surrounding some of Floyd's high-profile real estate investments, suggesting certain announcements were designed more for publicity than substance.
It's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign that goes on, where, you know, it's $300,000 chains being bought and buying the new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you're already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back? But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when? But see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardlessly. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, you know, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, you know, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh man.
And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face and he told me to do that.
How did it get to where we started reading just the tweets? Because it seemed like that, like, I would think that y'all could pick up the phone and say, hey man, you know, what's going down here? as opposed to, you know, I respect the shooter and fuck boys and you know what I'm saying?
That's not Floyd. Floyd don't tweet.
Wow.
That's not him on Instagram. He got somebody next to him. See, everybody around him's codependent. So they're going to roll.
The long-running feud between 50 Cent and Mayweather has often revolved around business and finances, and recent reports have only intensified that rivalry. Ongoing discussions involving legal disputes, fraud allegations connected to former associates, and reported litigation have led some commentators to question the long-term stability of the Money Team brand, while supporters continue to defend Floyd's business empire.
26, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, that's a serious accusation there. Conversion, unjust enrichment, and he's seeking punitive damage on top of the missing $340 million. So why is Floyd suing him and what is he claiming? Well, Floyd argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims.
Former UFC title contender and analyst Chael Sonnen has also shared his perspective on Mayweather's financial image. Sonnen argues that many elite athletes fall into the trap of earning enormous sums while spending at an equally extraordinary pace. In his opinion, excessive spending combined with investments that failed to deliver meaningful returns can quickly erode even the largest fortunes.
And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing channel, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous... I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You've never heard Cox. You've never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check? And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic to Floyd. So Floyd is arguing that he was robbed by Showtime. that he had a deal that Showtime didn't argue. He's arguing this. And who's making that argument and where that goes? I'm just sharing, like, in public opinion, it's very hard to be sympathetic towards Floyd when...
As debates over lawsuits, financial reports, and business decisions continue, boxing fans remain sharply divided. Some believe Floyd Mayweather is still one of the smartest businessmen the sport has ever produced, while others think the growing number of controversies tells a very different story. With comments from Oscar De La Hoya, ongoing criticism from 50 Cent, and legal disputes making headlines, questions surrounding Mayweather's financial future continue to generate intense discussion. What do you think? Is Floyd still firmly in control of the money empire, or is the public seeing cracks in the image for the first time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest boxing updates. We'll see you in the next one.